Good morning. It's Sunday the 22nd of October, and it is chilly today. Blue sky, sunshine, and some small bits of localized flooding in fields following days of really hectic rain and hectic wind. And those of us in our county of Murray, particularly in the area that we live, being Forres, Findhorn, Kinloss, are counting our blessings that the storm has passed and that we bore very much less of a brunt than many other places, and we think very much of the folk who are still suffering the consequences of Storm Babette. There's storms all over the world, aren't there? There's storms of war, there's storms, weather storms, there's storms of all sorts going on. And Colin and I listened to Neil Oliver this morning talking about courage in the face of fear. And Colin had a dream last night that was just, he said it was just awful. It was a dream of children playing in a road or street or whatever, and these huge big juggernauts coming to mow them down. And you know, we know what's happening in certain parts of the world, and we know what's happening to the children. And there was this poem. There is a poem, that is doing the rounds at the moment, which is, kind of like, he puts it into words. I'm going to read it. Words whispered to a child under siege. No, we're not going to die. The sounds you hear, knocking the windows and chipping the paint from the ceiling, that is a game the world is playing. Our task is to crouch in the dark as long as we can and count the beats of our own hearts. Good, like that. Lay your hand on my heart and I'll lay mine on yours. Which one of us wins is the one who loves the game the most while it lasts. Yes, it is going to last. You can use your ear instead of your hand here on my heart. Why is it beating faster? For you, that's all. I always wanted you to be born, and so did the world. No, those aren't a stranger's footsteps in the house. Yes, I'm here, we're safe. Remember chess? Remember hide and seek? The song your mother sang. Let's sing that one. Yes, she still with us. Yes, but you have to sing without making a sound. She'd like that. No, those aren't footsteps. Sing louder. Let me show you how I cried when you were born. Those aren't footsteps. Those aren't sirens. Those aren't flames. Close your eyes. Like chess, like hide and seek. When the game is done, you get another life. Now that poem certainly caused me to cry, and Colin to cry, because there's something so deeply poignant in what it must be like for a child to be hiding in their home in a war. Yep, just horrendous. This too shall pass, as the saying goes. But in the passing, what cost is being paid? When I woke up this morning, I was thinking of the rugby. Because against all odds, South Africa beat, was it France? I don't know. We didn't watch. But against all the odds, South Africa, the Springboks beat the French. And I've never been a Springboks fan, and there's a lot of people I know who are great Springbok fans. have always been a New Zealand fan. But I couldn't help but think, bread and circuses. Oh, when the world is burning, when children thousands of miles away are hiding, hearing footsteps, hearing bombs, and waiting for the terror to descend. We're lost in our circuses, and we're sitting at tables eating our bread. You know, I bake bread and I get joy out of doing it. Oh gosh. Yeah, it's a sad, sad world. And I think it was yesterday I was sitting on the couch and I said to Colin, I just feel sad. I just feel a deep sadness. I've lost a sense of, I don't know, energy or does mojo, whatever you want to call it. I feel deeply saddened. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's picking up some of what's going on. Maybe there is the cry and the pain of brothers and sisters in other parts of the world reaching out across the miles that some of us pick up. Not everybody, and that's okay. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I do kind of feel that there's a real sadness in the world. And of course, we need joy. We need joy. We've got to have joy in order to be able to keep going. We've got to have joy which is gives us reason to rise and to go out and do the good that we can in the world, which is what we should be doing. We really should be going out and being as kind and merciful and loving and gentle as we possibly can. The world is spinning into chaos, and it is already in chaos. The world is in chaos. It's not going into it. It already is. And me in my little corner, me right here in this amazingly beautiful, peaceful space with blue skies and sunshine and greenery and crops and what have you. Sometimes it's easy not to connect with the greater, the oneness of it all, the complete connectedness. It's easy to totally disconnect from all of that and just say, well, I do it all the time. It's living in the moment. It's what is my reality right now. How can I possibly take on the burden of the world? So I can't, because I can't stop it. And there is a sense of accepting. There's another piece, a really, really amazing piece of writing by a lady called Byron Katie, and it's called What Is. I read this a long time ago, and it was amazing. That's all I can say. Now the piece of paper is all crumpled up, so I'm hoping I'll be able to read it okay. The only time we suffer is when we believe a thought that argues with what is. When the mind is perfectly clear, what is what we want. If you want reality to be different than it is, you might as well try to teach a cat to bark. You can try, and in the end the cat will look up at you and say, meow. Wanting reality to be different than it is hopeless. And yet, if you pay attention, you'll notice that you think thoughts like this dozens of times a day. People should be kinder. Children should be well behaved. My husband or wife should agree with me. I should be thinner, or prettier, or more successful. These thoughts are ways of wanting reality to be different than it is. If you think that this sounds depressing, you're right. All the stress that we feel is caused by arguing with what is. The people new to the work often say to me,
But it would be disempowering to stop my argument with reality. If I simply accept reality, I'll become passive. I may even lose the desire to act. I answer them with a question. Can you really know that that's true? Which is more empowering? I wish I hadn't lost my job, or I lost my job, what can I do now? The work reveals that what you think you shouldn't have happened should have happened. It should have happened because it did, and no thinking in the world can change it. This doesn't mean that you condone it or approve of it. It just means that you can see things without resistance and without the confusion of your inner struggle. No one wants their children to get sick. No one wants to be in a car accident. But when these things happen, how can it be helpful to mentally argue with them? We know better than to do that, yet we do it because we don't know how to stop. I am a lover of what is, not because I'm a spiritual person, but because it hurts when I argue with reality. We can know that reality is good just as it is, because when we argue with it, we experience tension and frustration. We don't feel natural or balanced. When we stop opposing reality, action becomes simple, fluid, kind, and fearless. And that's written by this lady called Byron Katie, who offers a course called The Work. You can find it online if you're interested. I've not done it. I just thought that was an amazing piece of writing, because it really does set it all out. It's a little bit about what I was talking about the other day, where if you stand up to fight the flood, you're going to get knocked over and injured and even possibly die. But if you fall into the water and let it take you, with water following the path of least resistance, you have a chance at navigating the obstacles with less risk of injury. Anyway, so what is, yes, so we can't stop what's happening in other parts of the world. We can't pretend that it's not real. We must accept it's real. We must accept some kind of corporate responsibility and accountability too, because those that have brought us to this point are those that we as humanity have allowed to take charge. Good morning. You know, in this so-called democracy, when you look at what's on offer in a political sense, surely we must wonder what the hell happened. How did it happen that those who are in charge of this world are in charge of this world? How did that happen? Well, to some degree, there's been an allowance of that by the majority of people because of all sorts of different things, some of which are bread and circuses. There really does need to be a significant change in the way the world works, because in my lifetime and over thousands of years, it appears that it's always been about violence and war and feudalism and people oppressing people and exploiting and killing and torturing and using all sorts of ways to manipulate. So how do I navigate the storm? How do I navigate this flood that is, well, you know, is it coming here? We don't know, but that has possibilities. There is that kind of potential, because people keep saying we're on the edge of World War III. This has been said now for a couple of years, and it just keeps the population in a state of unease, dis-ease, anxiety, fear, etc. So how do we fall into this stream, into this flood, into these waters, and find the path of least resistance? Oh, it's a good question. I don't know. Do we just accept it? Do we go about our business accepting what is and just take what we have in our day? Perhaps that's exactly what we do. Just accepting what we have in our day, because there's no amount of I can feel sad, I can take on sadness, I can take on all that stuff that is being, spread into the airwaves by what's going out on the, through media and stuff like that. And I can allow that to sicken my spirit and to become a depressing thing in my life. Or I can choose to be light. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we have to choose to be the light of life. Jesus said it. He said, "You are the light of the world." So let's do that. Let's be the light of the world. Let's not allow those that would manipulate us, that would and do use and abuse. Let's not let that stop us from being the light. Neil Oliver spoke very well today. Or maybe it was yesterday, I don't know. We listened to it today, and he quoted the Beatitudes of Jesus Christ. And yeah, they're fantastic. It's just extremely amazing wisdom. Blessed are those who... Now, I'm not going to even try and quote them all. They're in my head, but I'll make a hash of it, I know. So maybe if you're listening to this and you've got to this point, and if you care to, go to Google and check the Beatitudes of Jesus Christ. Go and read them. Maybe print them out. Maybe ask that Spirit would inscribe them in your heart and mind. And go and be merciful. Go and seek after righteousness. Go and do good and be light and kindness and compassion and joy and mercy. Be that in this world. Go and help your fellow man, requiring nothing in return. Just extend a hand of fellowship and goodness. Yeah. And then, if you're in a place of extraordinary beauty, stop and breathe deep. Take in the air. Count your blessings. Say thank you. Express gratitude. And then go out and do good. Till the next time, blessings and love. Pakon Kai Amon. Peace and love. Bye.